Okay, you can go ahead and start, Commissioner Cooley.
Okay, thanks. Welcome everybody to the February 13th, 2023 meeting of the Whatcom County Fire District 4 meeting of commissioners. I'm Steve Cooley, chair of the commission. Everybody else, would you introduce yourselves?
Tim Johnson, Commissioner.
Mark Land, Commissioner.
Jason Vanderveen, Fire Chief.
John Ward, DC Support Service.
All right, and that's everybody in attendance that I can see. And that moves us immediately to the public comment period. Chief, do we have anybody that's waiting in the wings?
No, sir, no one's signed up. Nobody's contacted us.
Okay, great. All right, well then I will open and then close the public comment meeting since we have nobody that wants to comment. Looks like we have a pretty brief meeting today unless something else comes up. So I'll try to get us to the agenda here as speedily as I can. Next is the approval of the consent agenda. All matters within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the Board of Commissioners for review, are considered routine, and will be enacted by one motion of the board with no separate discussion. If a separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. So does anyone have any issues they would like to take off the consent agenda and move them to for later discussion?
No.
Okay, and Tim and Mark, you both had the opportunity to see the packet.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Great. All right, well then, if there's no other discussion, Chief, remind me here, do I need to review what's on the consent agenda? Okay, Mark's nodding.
Yes.
Okay, I do. Okay, and what's on the agenda that you all get, that you produced, that's sufficient if I go through that? You follow me?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
Okay, all right, so the consent agenda this time includes meeting minutes from our meeting on January 16th, staff reports from the chief and various other divisions of the fire district, a financial report, voucher, payroll, and benefits documents, which revealed that our direct deposit payroll for this period was $512. Monthly expenditure voucher was $8,565.81. Also, the expense fund revenue for January was $1,655.12, and our total expenditures for February were $9,077.81. That is what is included in the consent agenda.
I would
will
move that we approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Commissioner Land to approve.
I will
Any
second that motion.
Commissioner Johnson seconds the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries. Sorry, I forgot to ask for discussion, but I think we already did that. So, all right. Moving on to unfinished business. The only item on that part of the agenda is the Liz Loomis Communications meeting. I would appreciate it if you would let me start the discussion on that. I want to talk about the letter that we plan to send our constituents. First of all, most of you know that on our meeting last week, I think all of you know, most of you were there. I asked for additional time to review that draft, despite the fact that we'd all been given plenty of time to review that draft and provide comments before that meeting. That was poor teamwork behavior on my part, and I will endeavor not to let that happen again. I should have been ready to go when everyone else was. So if it somehow does, I encourage any of you to use any appropriate means to increase my awareness. So secondly, the letter is excellent just as it is, in my opinion. I think it communicates our message clearly and succinctly. Thank you for your work on that, Tom. And again, please accept my apologies for worrying too much about its readability. It reads very well, and I think it's an excellent start to our campaign to educate and involve our constituents. So, comments on the letter?
I agree.
Great.
Yeah, I would concur that I thought it was a well-written letter. We didn't
Yeah.
really go through any comments during our meeting the other day, and I guess I had one comment, and that is there was a reference there to a proposed contract rate with the Northwest Fire and Rescue Services. But it didn't really explain what that would be, what the proposed contract rate was. It just mentioned that there was some sort of contract rate that was probably the less expensive than the other options that were in the letter. So I'm just wondering if we need to expand upon what that rate is at all.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as just saying that the least expensive option is to continue the contract with North Whatcom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
working towards a consolidation of some sort, you know.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you, Chief. I think that would probably be the easiest way to share that rather than saying, there is a proposed contract rate, saying it's going to ask the question, what is that?
Right. And certainly, there's a time and place for that conversation to happen in the public arena. I just don't know if sending a letter out that leaves this big question mark hanging there is necessarily that good of an idea.
Yeah.
okay.
That was my only comment. Other than that, I thought letter looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, thanks for your revision efforts on that. So am I hearing that we need to make a small revision to the letter? Is that?
I'll make a small
Make that addition
later this, and I'll get it out to you this afternoon. If you could just individually give me a thumbs up, that would be wonderful, whether by email or text. And then I'll get it off to Liz and her team, and we'll get moving on that.
Sounds good to me. You, Mark or Tim, sound good to you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay, so that's the letter. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss about the meeting with Liz and her team?
I appreciate that we're going to be having these regular work sessions. I think they're going to be really productive and informative. They're going to help us stay looped in so we can continue to sort of guide the strategy, or at least provide input on the overall strategy. And I wanted to compliment you, Steve, on the way that, first of all, you're running this meeting and the way you ran the work session. It's a room full of, very proactive and intelligent and go get 'em kind of people. And I appreciated you right off the bat, just basically setting the tone that, that we're going to be driving this. So I just wanted to give you kudos for that.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And I'm always open to feedback from any of you, all four of you, about how I run the meetings and do things. So please don't hesitate to let me know if you'd like to see something different. Thank you, Mark. Tim, any comments about the meeting? Anything we need to discuss?
No, nothing really comes to mind, other than the fact that I'm feeling pretty good about the work that we're seeing from Liz and her team. Seems like they have a really good plan, a good schedule, and I kind of like the way they're kind of presenting this to us and what the direction is. So I feel good about the process.
Good. Great. Yes, I would second what both of you said. I'm happy with the way things are going. For the benefit of anybody who might be watching this later and may not be aware, Fire District 4 has contracted with Liz Loomis Communications to help us get our message out to our constituents about the need for how to support our fire district, basically. So, all right. That concludes the unfinished business. There is nothing under new business. Anybody have anything that came up at the last minute? Okay, not seeing anybody. So seeing nothing, we'll close new business. I did not see any correspondence in the packet. Was there anything that we're missing there, Chief?
No, sir.
Okay, great. And then under announcements, which is our next agenda item, we have the auditors have come and gone. We have, well, I don't know if they're gone yet, but we have our exit meeting on the 24th, right, Chief?
Yes, and I've got some information about that. I see Commissioner Land's got his hand up. I'll let him go first.
Okay.
Well, only that, I don't know what your information is. I was just gonna volunteer to be part of that exit interview unless the other two had a strong feeling about how we do it. Only in that, unless I'm getting my boards mixed up, I think I did the risk assessment intake for this one. So I was sort of
Yes.
part of the beginning of the process. I think the audit period, would have covered a time period where I served as the chair. So it just seemed to me like a logical way for me to be the one to tie it off. But if you guys wanted to participate as well, we just post it and, have a special meeting.
Thank you, Mark. Go ahead, Tim, were you going to speak or was that the chief?
I was just going to say, I appreciate Mark's willingness to participate in that meeting. I know I'm not available that day, so I think it is important that one of us be there. So appreciate Mark's willingness to do that.
Great, and I would agree with that. I was planning to go if no one else would, just so somebody would be there, but I think it makes a lot of sense for you to be there instead, Mark. So Tim and I can read the report and hear about anything you found in particular in the audit at our regular meetings. So thank you, Mark.
Yeah,
let
sounds good. So I'll follow up then. I can't remember if Jenny sent me the email or if the auditor sent me the email, but I'll let them know that I'll participate and whatever the time of day is, I should make it work.
Yeah, there's
Perfect.
3 options. We can either do 10, 12:30, or 2:30.
Okay, and this was going to be a remote meeting?
We'll do it online. Yeah.
Okay. What were those times again?
10, 12:30, or 2:30.
Okay, I'll get back to you offline on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Chief, did you want to say anything else about the audit at this point?
The 3 of you hit all of what I was going to say.
Okay.
If I was just going to say, if more than 2 wanted to attend, we need to make it a special meeting and post it. If just Commissioner Land's going to attend, then we can just do it just with him and myself and Benita in attendance, and then report back to the board.
Okay, sounds good. What was I going to say? Something went across my mind about that. Oh, the results are in, so to speak. I mean, this is just a formality to present the results of the audit. Is that correct?
Correct. To the best of my knowledge, there's no findings and no management letters. That's what I know.
Great. That's what I was getting at. I wanted to at least announce something to whoever might be watching, if we can, that I think the audit went well. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
And
very good.
And kudos. There's a behind the scenes person I really need to thank out in public, and that's Benita Williams, who was our business manager. She had a lot of stuff to sort through, and as this board's aware, the financial torch was handed from one person to another midstream during the period of time that they audited. And so for Benita to take what had been previously done and be able to put that into succinct reports and really come away with the thanks of the auditor, which I believe you'll hear in the meeting, is kind of a testament to her work. So just a thank you to Benita Williams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. That's good to hear. Yeah, thank you. Okay, second item on the announcement part of our agenda was just verifying that we can all make the March 13th board meeting. Is that still good for everybody?
Actually, I'm going to be in the air most of the day, coming back to Bellingham on the 13th. So I would respectfully request that you can either excuse me or, you don't need to make any sort of arrangements if that's the best day for everybody else.
Okay, sounds good. Should we consider changing it, or should we just, what do you all think? Or should we just keep it as is? Chief, what do you think?
We'll have a quorum with the two, if you and Commissioner
Yeah.
Johnson, if you're both here.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think if there's anything big comes up, we can have a special meeting later in the month. That's a pretty early in the month meeting. So if need be, if something comes across our plate, we can do it later in the month.
Okay, sounds good. So any briefing on the audit exit interview you could handle then, since Mark won't be available? Is that
Correct.
true?
Yep.
Great. Okay, good, because we will want to hear about that. So excellent. Okay. Any specific agenda items for the next meeting? Obviously, we have the continuing communications effort, but we'll always be briefing on, but I have nothing else to add at this time for the next agenda.
I don't either.
Nobody else? Okay.
No.
Great. Okay. I am in Montana still, and I was actually planning on being back in time for that that audit exit interview. I'll still be back in town right about then. So that means I won't be signing documents today, but if the other two of you could do that, that would be great. And I believe the chief, just so you two know, the chief's making arrangements to mail me anything that I might have to sign. So
Great.
Yeah, just so the board's aware, we did. Commissioner Cooley was out of town last month, shortly after the meeting. So we mailed him his time cards for last month and this month, so that he could sign them and get them back to us in time to be submitted to the county treasurer.
Great. But all of our paperwork is in the drawer right now?
Yes, sir. It's in the drawer, and it will suffice to have both you and Commissioner Johnson's signatures on there.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
great. Anything else, anybody? All right. Well, thank you for coming to the meeting, and we'll see you all soon. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
If you could shoot me a text or an email when you guys sign, Commissioner Johnson or Land, that'd be
Right.
great.